Okay, it's Teddy and his mate Keith, ready to take you through the next hour with a barrel of laughs and a skipful of fun. Over to you, Teddy.
Good morning, all. Good morning, devotees. How are we all doing? Are we all well on this wonderful Tuesday morning? A day weather-wise where they're getting, my forecast today is for New York and our friend Suzanne over the pond. New York, they're suffering blizzards for the first time this time of the year. In a few years, they're suffering blizzards, which has followed the snow, which has been quite thick. And so they're struggling over there. Over here, however, weather-wise, it's going to be spring-like, hitting a peak tomorrow over the next couple of days in London of about 18 degrees.
Wow! And that's 10 to 18.
Exactly. It's a warm, southerly flow of air coming in, and the south is right underneath it, which is fantastic.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to take tomorrow off.
Exactly.
Is that all right?
Yeah, you have tomorrow off,
right,
Keith.
Thank you.
You know, you have tomorrow off, mate. You know,
right,
definitely.
That'll make us all feel much better, won't it?
And of course, Friday we're back with a bang because I'm interviewing Friday from the social group. She's based in Sussex, Patricia Bentley, fantastic lady who I've got to know over the phone, not personally, but over the phone personally. So she's celebrating the group 20 years this year.
Wow.
And she set it up 20 years ago, and now it's thriving. It takes all over Sussex, east, west, north, wherever. You've got the group near you. So check your classified ads or just check her out online, the group. Fantastic website. And then, of course, Mr. Keith here is interviewing Suzanne from New York over the pond, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's Suzanne, who is she's a lady of many parts, but basically she's an architect and comes from a very distinguished architectural family. And way back when, her family were involved in the design of Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris.
Oh, wonderful!
So pretty good. But she goes all over the world collecting rocks. Would you believe?
Really?
But she's also involved with a Greek gentleman called Stephanos, who is a very creative guy. He's a creative director of, I can never get the name right, but it's Teatro something or other. And they do opera, but they do it in a different way, putting their singers in plastic boxes and hanging them over the stage.
Now that is going to be interesting when she brings her students over later on in the year.
Yeah.
Well, now, moving on, I'm going to move on now to newspaper talk from the last few days, as I'm only here once a week. Probably enough for you lot, I would imagine.
Well, you're going to be here twice a week this week.
Sorry?
You're going to be here twice a week this week.
This week, twice a week. And of course, the following week, I'm here twice a week because I've got a friend of mine coming over from Brighton, Graham, ex-seaman. And he's going to be doing a Saturday morning show with me on the 7th of March.
Well, there you go. And that's a first Saturday morning show.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
It is.
So join us because it's all changed at Mirador.
Yeah. Coming back to the paper talk, it's still all this Epstein rubbish. Now, apparently, after Andrew Mountbatten was arrested, how the mighty have fallen, last week, and he was rushed to the police station in, I think it's Camden somewhere, and they kept him in for about 7 hours and then released him like any normal person on bail. And of course, last night, well, it's caught with your trousers down on picture. Peter Mandelson, his 2 houses were searched, and then he was let go again, released on bail about 5 o'clock this morning. Again, you know, the last time I got arrested at 5 o'clock in the morning, I walked down the road and picked a pint of milk above someone's doorstep because I was gasping. Anyway, that's for another day. That's for another day. Right, so that covers that bit of paper. Oh yeah, now Line of Duty is coming back apparently next year.
That's the television.
Yeah, with Andrew Dunbar and the lovely girl off the Bomb Show, and there we go. And then Beckham's Together for youngest son. Oh no, yeah, no Brooklyn. Oh well.
Oh, they made up, have they?
Yeah, they have. Yeah, apparently they have made up Brooklyn, but they're still really. And I know how troubling it can be breaking up with one of your sons, because my first wife had my eldest son, and unfortunately when we separated, I was parted from my son Andrew for many years. It's only reconnecting with his mum Pam, who still love dearly, and she passed away a couple of years ago due to cancer, and she gave us the tools to actually make up, which we have now. So we're back on. We're back on.
Well done.
But I know how troubling it can be.
Yeah,
so Bex, I can understand, and up to a point as well. Prince Charles, well, now it's King Charles, falling out with Harry, and it's good to see that they are trying to reconnect. Which is brilliant, because family is so important. If you've got close family, you're blessed. You really are. Because that's like having a network of friends on one hand, really.
Yes, it is.
Right, moving on. Oh, talking of which, royalty, wills. I'm not in a calm state. Talking about his ex-Prince Andrew being arrested and all the family stuff that it's causing with the royal family.
Yes, well, of course, some commentators are asking, is the royal family able to overcome this setback, or is it the beginning of the end? I'd like to think that it's not, because I'm a great believer in the institution of the royal family. Some of the people that have populated it leave a lot to be desired, but the institution is absolutely vital. I
think maybe a slimmed down royal family would be a good thing.
Yeah, slim it down by all means.
Myself personally,
I don't recognise some of the some of the hangers on.
Like Kate, Princess Kate, she's beautiful. She really is. And Wills is a great advert for, even though it supports Villa, but we'll ignore that. But
that's the one thing that he's got going for him.
Yeah, well, exactly. Now, if he was a Fulham supporter, I'd be a lot happier, but he isn't. And of course, Kate is well into rugby as well.
Yes, it's actually very good at rugby on Saturday.
Yeah, apparently she's can't imagine her playing female rugby though.
No, I can't.
But I think she probably has. And then of course that's the royal coverage done. And so we give it extensive coverage, don't we? Not. And of course now we're coming up to, we had the BAFTAs weekend.
Oh, right.
Now this is brilliant, I thought, to be honest. I mean, the best film, one battle after another. That sounds like the Beckhams and the Royals, really, doesn't it? To be honest. And that was best film. Outstanding British film, not Hamlet, because that was a long drag. It really was. But the outstanding British film was Hamnet. Now, I've not watched that, but I believe Jessie Buckley, who played the leading female role, she actually got the best leading actress.
All right.
I watched that part actually, and a very, very nice young lady, I've got to say. And the best leading actor, of course, was Robert Armao. Again, young lad, but best leading actor in Swear. So yeah, I mean, I did enjoy it.
Why is it that producers always go for Hammers? It's such a gloomy bloody play.
I don't even know what Hamlet's about, if I'm honest with you.
It's the Prince of Denmark, isn't it? And,
Is it?
and betrayal and murder and all sorts of things, yeah.
Oh, right. So melodrama then, really,
Yeah.
I think they call it, don't they? Yeah, I mean, sort of like, but I'm sure cigar smokers would still much prefer Hamlet myself, personally.
Well, I would prefer Midsummer Night's Dream,
Oh, best
where
of,
they got somebody called Bottom.
really?
Yes.
Oh, well. Yeah. You get stuck, I suppose, you scratch it, don't you, Bottom? Really? Yeah, and then best supporting actor Sean Penn, ex Mrs. Madonna, Mr. Madonna, and the best children's film, Bong, whatever that is. There we go. Now coming to the weekend, that's the paper chalk done. Coming to the weekend, actually, I absolutely loved the curling.
Oh, right.
On the
In
Olympics.
the Olympics.
You know, that was 2 groups of 6 teams in each group, if I remember right. 48 games played in the whole tournament. And absolutely, and when they say it's like green bowls on ice, it is. After watching a lot of it, and I've got to say, the Great Britain, who beat Canada in the group stages, to lose to Canada in the final, to be fair, Canada deserved to win it because they were very, very good. They really were.
Yeah, well, it's their native sport, isn't it?
They were really very good, I thought.
Yeah.
And in fact, both teams were a credit to the Olympic Games, really. And of course, that accumulated in Team Great Britain's best ever games, I think.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yes, 3 golds, 1 bronze, and 1 silver.
Well, that's okay, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
not a bad haul.
Not bad at all, really.
Have you ever played curling?
No.
I mean, I haven't
Have a
really
job,
played it seriously, but on the odd time I've been up to the interior of British Columbia, some of these remote places cut off by the snow and the ice, is they play that to death.
Really?
Yeah. And I stepped onto sugar ice without the lashes on. Wow! Next thing you know, you're staring up at the sky.
Well, yeah. I have a job staying up on ice. I don't know about anything else.
Oh, yeah.
Really? Yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful sport. And to be honest, to stay up and do those shots, quite frankly, the balance you must have.
Yeah.
And balance you must have must be amazing.
Yeah, it must be.
You know, to be actually...
Since I have none, I'm absolutely amazed.
Yeah. I'm likewise. I'm likewise, you know, even ice skating, when our skating rink used to go with girlfriends, I always used to make myself look a prize plonker. I really did. But it was always good for the sympathy angle. It really was. But those athletes, and they are, you know, and when you actually look at the effort those singular athletes put in a team, and you look at some of the sporting teams like rugby, the football, it shows them so-called professional players up.
Yeah,
both sports, I think.
Absolutely.
You know, it really does.
Yeah, because the dedication is often in much bigger folds for the amateurs, because they're doing it for some other reason than cash.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's like, we do this for the love, not for the money.
Yeah.
And you know what? That is the one thing. I've got a friend of mine who was a big cricketer, but he never played it professionally. He was just an amateur, but he still went on to represent England at cricket in the non-professional under 65s, over 65s, over 70s, And he played at Wembley football a few times, amateur cups and stuff. And actually, I've got him coming on one of our guests actually.
Right.
In the next month.
Super.
Yeah, David Rickman, very, very professional guy, but amateur sport, he was brilliant.
Yeah.
Plays golf, all round outdoor, sportsman really. So yeah, I mean it's incredible. So I mean the curlers, they deserved the welcome they got coming back to the airport yesterday. Again, I watched that yesterday. Later on playback on iPlayer. It was brilliant. It really was.
They got a really good reception, did they?
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, and of course Matt, the skeleton skier, who won 2 medals, won it in the mixed and in the individual competition. They were interviewing his fiance and basically they've been together. They're due to get married next year, and she was a lovely young lady as well. And they're also all these athletes coming back. They're all so respectful, very, very nice when being interviewed. A pleasure, really, to watch.
Yeah, it's quite emotive being in one of those welcome home things. So my sins, I was on the they have a bus to a city. I was on the bus with Barry McGuigan.
Really?
Yeah. I knew him quite well because I was a broadcaster in Northern Ireland. He was, of course, the champion.
Yeah, it was Ulster TV, wasn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's quite something. The emotion that swells up to you when you're standing on top of that bus. It's quite something.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and what a boxer he was, by the way.
Oh, he was.
What a boxer. Great heart as well.
Yeah.
Like all good boxers.
All those bouts, there's a friend of mine known as the Commander, Cyril Kane, who was the main photographer for the Daily Mirror, and who was the only man that McGuigan would allow, only photographer McGuigan would allow in his corner. So every bout, every home bout anyway, there's Cyril taking snaps of Barry in the corner. The only man allowed to.
Really?
Yeah. Commander was a real character too. Absolute character. But I mean, there are nice little stories like that. Huh?
Yeah, very nice. Actually, I saw something else in the paper somewhere. I didn't think about pulling it out last night, but Tyson is the fittest he's been in years. Before Christmas, he went over to where my son's living now in Thailand, and exercised with his trainer in the rice fields in Thailand. Picked rice and helped out the locals, and he said he came back and he said, "This is the fittest I've been in years."
He's still going, is he?
He is, yeah. So now he's making a comeback against a boxer later on in the year. After retiring 3 or 4 times.
Yes.
He said this is the fittest he's been in years.
Wow. Because they gave him a little snippet in the Crocodile Dundee movies.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they did actually. Yeah,
it's very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It made him human.
Yeah, well, he is. He is human actually. Yeah. He's got a great autobiography book out, which is superb. And when you think, growing up, he's a gypsy.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he was gypsy. Oh. Yeah. His brother is as well, who's also now in the boxing, different way. His brother's boxing now, as has been for a few years, and they're a gypsy family. Literally, really are.
Well, that I mean, it's good to hear people like that.
Well, this is what you need. You need, and for me, it's good that you have people like him, characters that have had a genuine life.
Yes, yes.
So many
inspiring people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and all this stuff, it's so important.
Yes, it is.
Everyone's got their own lives, and our generation, like Tyson's, he lived his own life in his own way, which is brilliant. You know, the same as I have, the same as you have. But I do fear about people coming up, whether people will still emerge from, because it seems such a sterile world for, and really, you know, no one,
Yeah.
you know, Big Brother now doesn't encourage characters, does it?
No, nothing does. I mean, I was just thinking about that, Teddy, the other day, because we're trying to get hold of Ariel, the supplier to O2. And at one time, when they were much smaller, you could phone and you could get hold of a person and you could have a chat and they'd say, oh, well, I think we can do this, and this. Now, you can't even get past the algorithm.
The bodyguard,
the
secretary.
Right.
Yeah, now it's not secretary anymore, it's AI, isn't it?
And yet they'll advertise themselves as being ultra friendly and user friendly and so on. Anything but. Now, are they lying or are they fooling themselves? I suspect they're fooling themselves.
They're fooling themselves. I don't think they deliberately set out to lie, but it's just as it comes across to people that ring them up.
That's right.
Like Radio Co, who I had conflict with about 25 calls getting through to an AI assistant. In the end, I said, you know what, I'm not talking to a robot. I want to talk to a human being. I said, if you've got a phone line, answer the phone line with real people.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you notice most people nowadays don't actually give a phone number for their business?
I know, especially online.
Yeah.
Online. I've been sorting out some personal stuff as well for myself this week. And just as well, I was working in my other office in Brighton, doing my other thing at the moment, and I actually found, in the end, got through, but it took about 2 hours.
Yes, I know. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, so all I'm saying is whether there'll be the character that'll live lives on this sort of show, you know, that you entice me onto, because it seems that people won't have the life experience of people like you and I.
No, that's right. That's right.
And our other wonderful presenters.
Yes. I mean, people sort of giggle when we say that a lot of our presenters are quite old, but they've had the experience.
Exactly.
Most of them have been to at least 30 or 40 countries.
Yeah.
I personally have been to 60 and worked in 40. And I'm not the highest on the list on Mirador. So you see, we've got a lot of people, including yourself, who are very, very experienced. And that experience counts and tells in your interaction with people.
Yeah.
But you're right.
Yeah.
Are we going to have the people following on, who had that similar experience?
Well, will Mirador TV be going after us?
Well,
we hope it is.
But
and I'm going to certainly be looking around for people with not experience, because you can't give people life experience, you have to learn it. But I am going to be looking around for people that are relaxed, have a laugh, and just like as a normal way, like we do.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, obviously we spend a lot of time off air, you know?
Yes.
And
really, it's worthwhile bringing that to the front, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, when you think about it, Netflix and those sort of organisations are great in terms of bringing drama.
They are. Yes.
But they're actors. They're not real people.
Because they're trying to buy Warner, actually, Netflix at the moment, aren't they? Yeah, they are. Yeah, trying to buy Warner at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, all that thing at the top is very high-powered stuff.
Well, it is. It is.
Disney and so on are all involved.
Yeah.
But you know, we've started to lose real people.
We are, yeah, without a doubt, without a doubt. And here at Mirador, especially when we start the phone in, I'll be encouraging people that have their own views.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
It's not wrong to have a different view from myself, you, the government.
Absolutely not.
Because you need. Only way you get debate.
Yeah.
The only way you get debate is by encouraging people and reacting to other people's views and listen to what they're saying.
I remember an old professor of mine saying, you know, in his valedictory speech at university, don't choose friends that fit on like an old shoe.
Oh, no, definitely not. When I go out with my mates for a beer, which is quite often, and in general chat when I see them, we always have a healthy debate. And I mentioned last week, actually, on my show last Tuesday, about the school children in Scotland that were being given the chance to debate about keeping religious education as part of their school curriculum. And it was great that Scots head teachers saw that and actually said to them, well, look, debate it. We'll sit down for a couple of hours and we'll debate it, and then we'll take a vote. And because that's a great learning experience for those children. And absolutely. You know what? And it sets the tone. As long as Scotland now at school level carrying on at different levels for different subjects, you know? So really, I think that it's great. Now, I want to just go back actually to the Olympics. Remember there was a certain lady, Miss Von, doing her skiing with a dodgy right knee.
Yes, right. Remember that.
But she wanted to do another Olympics. Such is an Olympian's love of the sport. Again, not for money, but love. Love to say she'd just gone out on a last hurrah irrespective. And she started her run downhill, went about 200 meters. And unfortunately, obviously, the right knee couldn't support her. Anyway, she tumbled. She had that much control going down at about 150 miles an hour or whatever it was. So when she went down, she actually made sure she fell on her left leg. Now, the left leg was fine, but the right leg was knackered. So anyway, she's gone in for surgery now. I watched the actual film of her being loaded into the helicopter where she flew off to whatever hospital it was. Had a 6-hour operation on her knee. And after all that surgery, it turns out after the operation finished, they checked and it saved her right leg, corrected the knee, where she won't be skiing again. Well, not professional, not Olympics anyway, but the main thing is she came through it all right. And Miss Von, we send her all our wishes. We send her all our wishes, don't we?
We do indeed.
Get well soon.
Anybody with that sort of grit deserves every bit of support that they can get.
Exactly. The John Wayne film title that sums that up is True Grit.
Yeah, absolutely.
True Grit. There we go. So well done, Miss Von. I'm glad. And really, I am trying to find out if we could get Eddie the Eagle on sometime, but I'm not holding my breath, really. But I am.
Have you ever seen the sort of docudrama that they did on Eddie the Eagle? Yeah.
You know him, by the way, Eddie the Eagle.
Hey?
Have you met him, Eddie the Eagle?
No, have you?
No, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Well, you've got far more experience in meeting people in the TV world than I would have. Not been really involved in television till.
I don't know. You know, I mean, it is sometimes the most you see of them is they pass you in the corridor.
Right.
Because you happen to be at the same place at the same time.
Really?
But somebody else has got them on, and yeah, it's all very workmanlike.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to find out his email and ask him.
Yeah,
I am, but
yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
I'm a great believer in heading.
If any viewers out, if any viewers out there have got Eddie the Eagle's contact details, please pass them on to me at Mirador TV.
Yes, please do.
Because I believe we run a blog as well, don't we?
Well, all sorts of things come out of this. Yeah.
So just send us his with your name, and we'll of course I will mention you on my show.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, moving on. Now, does anyone remember when the last Apollo mission went man to the moon? That's the thing. Now, I know you won't be able to answer me because you can't contact me, but it was Apollo 17 in 1972.
I was going to say the 1970s, yeah.
Yeah, 1972 was the last manned mission to the moon, the Apollo 17.
And now they're talking about it again.
Now we are, because it's now, just get it, did write it down actually, Artemis is the rocket that's going the next to the moon, but unfortunately it was due off. It's due off beginning of March, but it's been put back, so there won't be ground control to Major Tom. Commencing countdown, engines on. Take your protein pills and put your helmet on. But anyway, that's been put off.
Very well done.
That's been put off now till later on in March. However, in the meantime, Canada are launching a similar mission up to the moon. So, so it's anyone's guess. You couldn't get the details on the Canada. They're a bit SS with it, secret squirrel. So we will have to wait and see on that. But I think brilliant. Just when, you see, Trump has released all of the UFO files.
That's right.
All of the UFO files in the last week to make them into the public domain.
They're going to be very interesting.
It is. And it's come out, Nevada, Area 51, he's saying doesn't exist. Which, you know, I've read all about Roswell and Area 51. Fascinating. I love sci-fi. So for me, you know, that is a bit of a downer. But I still believe it's true. I just think that in all the files he's releasing, there's nothing about Area 51 or Roswell, Nevada desert, by the way.
Well, I mean, I was about to say, just because he's releasing them, it doesn't mean to say that there aren't a whole truckload more.
No, I know. And that X-Files music,
Yeah.
with Mulder and Scully. Now,
Yes.
Is there an X-Files? Is there an X-Files department somewhere that even the president doesn't know about? Because they don't tell the president everything.
No, I think that probably the way government is put together, there are easily 2 or 3 secret departments in each military organisation.
Of course, exactly. And plus, it happened in the sci-fi film where all the sorters came in, not Mars Attacks, not that one where the Tom Jones single came out and all the aliens died because it was Tom Jones music. Right, yes,
Yeah.
but you know what? But I'm fascinated by sci-fi, and actually asked actually. He said to Trump, he said, Mr. President, do you believe in aliens? He said yes. And the interviewer said, "Well, you got them in your cabinet." No, he said in the British. However, Starmer has.
But I still think the most frightening of the lot was the original, The Day of the Triffids.
Oh, Day of Triffids, yeah, that was.
Yeah.
I mean, it does make you wonder. I honestly don't think aliens would attack this planet because it's so badly run down here. They're waiting for us to do it to ourselves. Just me personally, and I have no faith in our leaders. You know, I personally think we should be the leaders of this country, Keith. You and I.
You know, actually, Teddy, there's some merit in that argument, because actually nowadays our leaders aren't leaders anymore. They're career people.
They are, yeah, without doubt.
They go into politics when they're about 18 or even younger, 15, 16, and never go anywhere else.
I know.
How the hell can you be a politician if you've never tasted life?
Exactly, like we were saying earlier. Where do the future personalities come from?
That's right.
That's the thing. I mean, it's so many now leave college and they become researchers, unpaid, to get the experience of Parliament, and then they just progress through.
Yeah. I mean, with all due respect, it's a bit like my minders. They are very good at what they do, but they don't know anything outside that.
No, exactly. Well, unless you've had a life in real life,
yeah,
you know, just in different areas, just down to talking on a bus with people, you know, and like myself, I've done a lot for raising money for prostate cancer. But again, all the contacts and people I spoke to through that, you know, it's absolutely fantastic, because you get to know so many different people. That's the whole point is, and that's the way you gain experience. Like New York, when I've been to New York 3 times, and I love New York. And the downtown bars for me in the Lower East in Manhattan, absolutely brilliant. You know, first thing, I had 3 beers, and then the barman says, "I'll get the next one."
Oh,
and that is the way that the bartenders earn their money, because they don't get paid a lot of money, but that's how they make their money, when people tip them.
Right.
People tip them, and that boosts their. And seriously, every bar you go, lower downtown Manhattan, all the small bars, and just brilliant. But obviously, you know, the last time I was there, I was paying $1 for a bud, and then every 4th one, the bartender puts you on there, says thank you very much, and that's the way it works, really. And
last time I was in the United States, I was in Washington, DC, and the thing that surprised me was the number of Vietnamese who had little stores selling food. Food stores.
Yeah.
And what surprised me was, in some of them, you could buy food by the weight.
Really?
Yeah. They put them in the brown paper bag and weigh it, and that's X amount, thank you.
That's proper street food then, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, it's weird, it really is. But and also, you know, New Yorkers, every time I've been, they don't class themselves as American, they class themselves as New Yorkers. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that I learnt first off my first time there. Went over to mate, a good friend of mine, Paul, and he said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm heading down the east side." He said, "Why?" I said, "Well, there's some great little bars I've read about." He said, "Is there?" And he'd been to New York before, but been up in the Echelon with all around the Trump area and stuff where Trump's house is. And I said, "No." I said, "Oh," he said, "Well, if I come down with you?" I said, and we had about good 6 hours there, our initial, and he said to me, "Happy," and I learnt so much just from. He said, "Well," I said, "they are what we call all lower classes, which there are in New York." I said, "It's like anywhere. It's like England. You've got the haves and the have-nots, you know." And and that's why, you know, be interested to meet Suzanne when she comes over.
Yes.
To be honest.
Did you see? I don't know whether it was called Rocky or Creed or whatever, where Sylvester Stallone is retired and has got his bar in the boxing film.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, and I mean, it seems to me that's the sort of place that you just described. Yeah. That would have been in Philadelphia, of course.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah. Philadelphia, of course, the home of the Sound of Philadelphia.
Yes.
Which we actually went up on a Greyhound coach, actually, up to there. Fantastic music history. That's where the 3 Degrees came from.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. And they of course, were as a prince, it was Charles' favourite band.
Ah, yes, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
And they were singing to him, "When will we see you again?" He said, "When I'm king." Sarah Ferguson, the lead singer, I'm sure, because she's still living. God bless her. And she performed for him, I think, a couple of years ago again, actually. But yes,
actually, going back to your space odyssey, did you see the movie about the ladies, the black ladies, who were the mathematicians who did all the calculations to send the first man to the moon?
No.
Oh, it's fascinating.
No, I didn't. No.
Fascinating, because they were black.
Well, yeah.
And they couldn't go in. They couldn't go into the loos.
Oh,
because they're segregated and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I know.
And Kevin Costner plays the part of the director, and he turns around and wants to know where this lady is, and because she's missing. And they eventually tell him she has to go a mile across the complex to get to a loo that she could go to.
Amazing, that.
Yeah.
You know, when my first trip to New York, actually, Paul and I went into this McDonald's over there just to see if the McDonald's over there tasted as bad as they do over here. Sorry, McDonald's fans, if anyone's watching. But anyway, we went in, and this young Negro girl, lovely young lady, got chatting to her, and I saw this the manager guy looking, seeing she was chatting, and we went to get up, and we gave her $1 tip each. And as we went out, the manager stopped and said, "What are you doing giving Naomi," or someone was her name, "what are you doing giving her a tip?" And I said, "Because in New York it's natural." He said, "We don't give Negroes a tip." And that's a McDonald's manager. I said, "How can you be racist in a city of New York where there are more blacks than there are whites?"
Yeah.
I said, "She lives on a project." I said, "So what?" And Paul, because I was losing my rag with this guy, I said, I just said to him, I said, "You know, mate, you're not even a human being in my eyes, because she does a great little job. She works hard. If she's not serving, she's cleaning your tables." I said, "Maybe you should give these people a bit more respect."
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, you're not a regular New Yorker." I said, "No, I'm not. I'm a Brit." Oh, he said, "Limey." I said, "Yeah, limey, whatever." And he said, "You can't insult me, mate." I said, "I've had 3 ex-wives and they know how to do it properly." So, right. And then their mother-in-law to give it to me in stereo. But I said, no. I said, so you should respect these people a bit more.
Yes,
But,
indeed.
Paul said to me, he said, "Yo, you've gone on your high horse again." I said, "Yeah." I said, "It's just a shame I left it down the road, really, isn't it?" And so, anyway, as we walked out, the young lady, she waved to us goodbye. And of course, their projects, of course, are the council estates.
Uh-huh.
The council estates, basically. And on the same trip, again, we were in Brooklyn, gone down to the Brooklyn Brewery just to have a look at the Brooklyn Brewery where we make Brooklyn beer. And we stayed for a beer, and it was a Jewish Passover. And we walked out and couldn't remember our way how to get back to Manhattan. And we were stopping people, asking them if they knew how to get back to New York, but no one would speak to us because the Jewish Passover day, they just didn't speak to anybody.
Ah, right.
Because it's part of their religion out there. And so anyway, we carried on walking, and we've ended up in a project in Brooklyn. And I spotted it. I said to Paul, I said, we run into one of their projects where all Negroes are based, and they split them. Negroes have the projects, and then the haves, like the white working class people, have all the fancy flats and apartments apparently. Anyway, sort of like we had to walk round. We found this pizza place. We walked into it, and we bought a couple of slices of pizza, which you can have there, which is brilliant. And we had a beer. And again, we're ignored by all these Negroes. And I walked over to a table and said, "Look, sorry, mate, we don't buy, and we're over from Great Britain." And all of a sudden, the temperature in there dropped, and we were chatting for about an hour after. And then we said, "How do we get back to the tube, the subway? Because we want to get back to Manhattan, where we're staying." And that one of the guys walked us back, shook our hand, and said, "Thanks very much." And that wasn't planned on my self-pointed script this morning, but I thought I might
those are the
do
best
it.
stories.
It's just again a life story, and I've been back to New York twice since then, and wouldn't mind going back again, actually, to be honest.
No, I like it. I like New York. I mean, there's no reason why we couldn't actually do this program from New York. It's just a question of raising a couple of quid, that's all.
Exactly, yeah. And get over and meet Suzanne.
Yeah, in fact, I did write to the New Jersey airline that flies into Gatwick, because they said that they are very anxious to take sponsorships from me here. But you have to go to their New Jersey office, not Gatwick. There's nobody at Gatwick that can take it. So
no. Well, you know what? I'd love that. Actually.
Yeah.
And
well, we must talk about that because well, I can't walk. You could prop me up in an alley while you went and had a beer and bring me one out, and it would be perfectly happy.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would be good fun. You know. Yes. Like now, I was going to do the stars this week, but I'm not sure how we're doing for time.
We're okay. You got another 10 minutes.
Right. Well, we better do your rugby review.
Right. Okay.
Now, and you over the spot now is yours, Keith. So give us a rugby review.
Well, of course, the big news is the devastation of England. 42-21 to Ireland, and they were carved up. They were made mincemeat. And England were fancied for the championship. Now they're languishing at second from bottom.
Really?
They are. So why they collapsed the way that they did, I have no idea, because they didn't do too well against the Scots. They didn't collapse anywhere near the way that they did against the Irish. And the Irish aren't particularly good this year. In fact, I mean, the Irish have struggled against a couple of sides. So France are on course. They demolished, but nowhere near the way that England were demolished. They demolished Italy on the weekend. with a 33 to 8 victory, I think it was. But the Italians are the success story of this championship. They are really coming along very well. And as one reporter said, against a spirited Italian side. They don't give up. They keep at it. France are just superb, that's all. Really? It's a superb side. So, the revival of Italy, the demolition of England are the two big stories. France on the way to a Grand Slam. Wales were resurgent. They didn't win. And Scotland had to fight back against them, but Scotland only just pipped them at the post.
Really?
Yeah. So elsewhere, outside the biggies, there's a lot going on. And the middle of the table is worthwhile watching. England take on Italy this, not this week, it's a fallow week.
Yeah.
No rugby this week. If you're going to go to the pub, go for the beer or go to watch Fulham.
Yeah, well, definitely. Yeah, for sure. I'll always go that. For me. I was watching the Fulham game actually on Sunday in the Black Horse, and Joe was in there, we're chatting, and there weren't many in. And I said to him, actually, it's the quietest I've seen the Black Horse with football. And I said, I know, I looked in on Saturday and you were mobbed in here Saturday.
Oh, absolutely.
And he said, well, I did say, Teddy, that rugby is the big rugby, cricket, the other attritional sports rather than football are the biggest sports in there, which they are.
Yes, they are.
And of course, they've got Toad in there as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, the Black Horse is a very good sporting pub. They've got their own cricket team. They've got their own. What do they call it? Scoreball.
Yeah.
Team.
And of course.
Toads.
And they've just agreed to take all the cycling races on.
Oh, have they?
Because Cycle Lewis went in and asked them if they do be the cycling channel pub as well. So they're doing like the Tour de France, because now again you can't get it on normal free-to-air sat. And all the cycle sports now are becoming premium sports.
Yeah. Well, Deck is a very, very good pub landlord. He understands his customers. He's got enough screens so that he can.
He has actually.
You can have 2 or 3 things on at once.
Yeah.
It's as far as I'm concerned, he's a real gent, because I can't stand. So he reserves a seat. Exactly. There's a table in front of the fire.
Exactly.
This is in front of one of the big screens.
So you don't stand for it, you sit down for it.
Absolutely.
Very sensible, especially with a beer in your hand.
Yeah. But anyway, rugby people, it's stand down this weekend. And then the weekend after that, it gives the England team time to try and make an assessment of what the hell they're doing and come back with a bang. If they're going to come back, or whether not, they're gonna have a wooden spoon.
Exactly, or whether they go for the wooden spoon.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Did they actually get a wooden spoon? No.
Well, I think it depends where you're playing.
Italy, I would think that's a trophy. Italy's a trophy, I reckon, to be honest.
So there you are, Teddy. That's the state of play.
Lovely. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Now, the other thing is Princess Jordan. Now, does everyone know who Princess Jordan is? She's Katie. She's Katie's Katie Jordan's daughter with Peter Andre. Who Andre was a second marriage, if I remember right, and Princess is the one redeeming feature of it. A very, very attractive and intelligent young lady. And she was interviewed and some of the stuff, and said it was always difficult because I went to live with my dad, Peter, and we, both myself and my dad, stopped communicating with her mum Jordan. But she said again, like we were saying earlier about families, about Prince Harry and Charlie and Brooklyn and Beck, and she said, "But we've made up, both myself and my dad, and now we get on fantastic." And she says, now I have certain nights at my mum's and the rest of the time with my dad, and that, which is again, but she got her own show on ITV2 midweek sometime, I think it is. I've not looked at it yet, but I might have a peek this week on iPlayer just to see what it's like.
Yeah,
but
right.
She comes across, and when asked, she said, "How do you feel about relationships with yourself now?" And she said, "You know what?" She said, "What happens with people in relationships. Do I push for one? No. But," she said, "you just wait and see if it comes along." Very, very mature young lady, which, you know, people come from broken homes. I did myself, and you learn so much about survival being a one-parent family. It's completely different to having two parents at home in that classic family situation. I mean, and I never really didn't really miss out on anything, thanks to my dad who brought us up. And I'm sure that in Peter's case with Princess, I'm sure he's given her the love of two parents from himself.
Yes.
And it's a lot easier in a one-parent family because you don't have your dad and your mum at each other's throats.
No, that's right.
So,
I mean, there are relationships which are very loving throughout their entire marriage,
of course, exactly.
but they're few and far between.
They are.
And you're quite right. If there's only one there, they can't fight.
They can't. And, you know, and I know my father brought my brother and sister up really well. We brought us up to be independent as well as work full time himself. So it just, and I think that must be about time. So on that note, my devotees, I will leave you and I will see you next Tuesday. Well,
right.
No, we'll see you Friday, actually. We're interviewing Patricia Benson from the group, the social group in Sussex.
And you've had a comment this morning from a viewer.
Really?
His name Dave Toby, by the look of things.
Yeah.
Who says Rupert Lowe for Prime Minister.
Right, there we go. Of course, he's just started a new party as well, Rupert Lowe.
Yeah.
He started a new party.
Is he not Reform anymore?
No, he got sacked from Reform. So, Dave Toby, thank you very much. Thanks for watching. And watch out for Rupert's new party. And goodbye from me. Bye.
And farewell from me.
And that's a wrap.
Indeed it is. Let's do it properly. Here we go.